what's up, everybody? Welcome to CU101 Culinary Foundations. I hope you're all excited to be here. Congratulations, you drew the short straw and ended up in Chef Luke's class. The short straw or the long straw, you view that how you want as far as the winners go. But I think you're the winners. No, Chef Chris is a super cool guy. You'll actually get to see Chef Chris a little bit throughout the class because both he and myself do the technique videos that you guys will be watching week to week. So you'll actually get a little bit of Chef Chris throughout the next 12 weeks as well. I'll do a quick intro for myself. I know I met a lot of you in orientation last week, but go ahead and do that intro again. Oh, hang on a second. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. There we go. So I live in Round Rock, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, Texas. I love it here. I've lived in the Austin area for almost 20 years now. I am married. I got 2 kiddos. One is 2.5. The other is 6.5. The halves are very important. For those of you with kids, you know that. That's true. Those kiddos make a big deal about the half. So they keep me plenty busy, which is why I drink coffee at the beginning of all these live sessions. Let's see. Outside of my cooking life, I like to hunt. I like to fish. I like to play golf. Yeah, that's pretty much in my spare time, if I have any spare time, what I try to go do. As far as food's concerned, I've worked in the food service industry for over 15 years. I've got experience front of house, back of house. In the front of house, I've been a waiter, a bartender, a busboy. In the back of the house, I've been a dishwasher all the way to executive chef. I've worked at mom and pop shops. I've worked at corporate establishments and everything in between. I also ran a catering company for a little while. So I had that. 1 second. Hey, Marvin Evans. There we go. Got it muted. Cool. You notice everybody's muted, and that's not because we don't want to hear what you got to say, but that's to cut out all the background noise because we record all these live sessions. So everybody wave to everybody watching the recording. There we go. And that's me. We'll get to learn a lot more about me over the next 12 weeks through this class and through the class we're going to add in week 6. So for now, I guess I should tell you, I'm the chef instructor for this class, which means I'll be leading the live sessions along with Chef Jackie. I'll be your point of contact for big picture questions about the industry, about food, about this program, about this class, that kind of stuff, okay? If you have issues with finances or dietary restrictions, or you're gonna go on vacation or something like that, things are gonna happen that are gonna affect your ability to effectively execute the assignments required of you in this class, reach out to me. We'll make a plan and we'll make it right. But I cannot help you if you do not reach out, okay? You gotta let me know as soon as you know there's an issue, whatever it is. As soon as you know about it, send me a message. Let's make a plan. With that, I'm going to kick it over to Chef Jackie. How are you doing this evening, Chef Jackie?
I'm doing well. Hi, everybody. I am Chef Jackie, and like Chef Luke, I've spent about a little over 15 years in just about every aspect of this industry you can get into: catering, fine dining, corporate, nursing homes, so specialty dining, a little bit of grocery store. So some of you back east especially that have, a Wegmans and have seen what that craziness is. I've done a little bit of that. So I've floated this industry, and then I've spent I've been with Escoffier for a year, and I've been teaching culinary for about 7 or 8 years at least at this point. So I understand the teaching aspect of it too. I am your chef evaluator, so you will hear my voice every week on your submitted assignment. Individualized, personalized feedback about your work. So please, and we're going to talk about that a lot, but I'm going to say right now, please, please, please watch your feedback. Especially if you look at your grade and you're like, That's not what I thought I was going to get. If it was lower than you expected, even if it was higher than you expected, look at it, watch it, check it out, because we tell you, I tell you what to do to fix it. If you didn't like your score, I tell you how to fix it. And you do have the opportunity to do it again and submit it again. So check that feedback out. I am located in Phoenix, Arizona, where it is still too hot, even though it's now coming up on September. We actually are hotter now than we were in July, which is not supposed to happen. I, like Chef Luke, play golf poorly. Someday we're going to get together and play around, and he's going to kick my butt, even though we both play poorly. He still plays better than I do, I'm sure. You every once in a while will hear my dogs barking in the background. I have 3 of them. They sometimes need to be heard. But I do look forward to the next 12 weeks and helping you grow your skills and knowledge.
Thank you very much, Chef Jackie. We are going to learn a lot over the next 12 weeks. So for this first session, there's going to be a lot of housekeeping to take care of, right? You guys are just getting into this. I know a lot of you are nervous. I'm not going to tell you to not be nervous, okay? Anytime you start something new, you should be a little bit nervous because it's brand new. So for, whether this is your first time doing anything related to the culinary industry, or whether this is your first time taking an online class, or whether it's your first time taking an online culinary class and you've got tons of food service experience, there's going to be a little bit of nerves. There's stuff to learn, okay? So don't be worried about being nervous, okay? It's all right. That's a sign that you actually care. And that you want to do well. So that's a good thing, to be a little bit nervous when you're starting something new. We're, like I said, we're very excited to have you here. You'll notice, again, everybody's on mute, so please try to keep yourself muted. If you do have a question, using that little more button there, you can click that and raise your hand, and we'll see your little hand pop up in the corner of your box and try to get to it. I would encourage you to hold your questions for a little while, specifically in this first session, because I'm about to give you a lot of information, and more than likely we'll be answering any questions you've got regarding the very beginning of this program and how things work. All right, so we're going to jump straight into it. I'm going to share with you guys my screen, see what I'm seeing. This is a class page right here, which you're all familiar with at this point because you're here in the live session. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So if you're like, what is that page? Should have been paying attention when you logged on to the live session. A lot of great information here for you guys to know. First, we're going to start here with the syllabus. You click on that. It's going to give you a downloaded PDF of the syllabus for our class. I encourage you to read through this. It gives you all the key course objectives that we're going to work on over the next 12 weeks. Some weeks we'll repeat some of this stuff just so we can make sure that we really hammer it home. Not all of this will specifically be covered in live sessions. Some of it is covered in your reading or in your knowledge checks on a week-to-week basis. So make sure you're doing all of those things as well. We'll cover through that. Okay. Here's a big important part of the syllabus is how much does everything count for? Discussion forums. We have 4 discussion forums in this class in weeks 2, 3, 7, and 10. So we will cover discussion forums in depth and how to do those next week when we have one. But those 4 discussion forums account for 15% of your grade. Why that's extra important is that in the first 4 weeks, we have 2 discussion forums, okay? With them carrying that much weight, they are extra crucial in these first 4 weeks of conditional enrollment. Because remember, you've got to be passing this class at the end of 4 weeks to continue in the program. If you have below a 60% at the end of week 4, you will be withdrawn from the program, okay? And then you've got to go through the whole admissions process again to start at the next block, all right? So let's make sure we turn in the work. Those 2 discussion forums are going to be important, and the 4 assignments we have are going to be super important, and all the knowledge checks, okay? So those 4 discussion forums are worth 15%. Your lab assignments, that's the actual cooking, the assignments we do, those total 60% of your assignment. The knowledge checks, the quizzes, those are worth 10% of your grade. Doesn't seem like a lot, but those all add up to a full letter grade, all right? And then we have a final exam, Boom, it's worth 15% of your grade. I know that seems like a lot. That's because it is. And here's the secret though. If you're doing your knowledge checks every week, that final exam is not going to be a big deal at all. All right. Next up is your book, Professional Cooking by Wayne Gislin. We use the 9th edition here. If you would like to go purchase the actual book, you're more than welcome to do so. You can find it on Amazon. Sometimes you can catch it used for a little cheaper. We will not be sending you an actual book. Your book is here online. When you click on that, it'll pull it up in a PDF style, okay? It takes a minute to load because it's like 1,800 pages, all right? So just hang on a second. It takes a minute to load, but there it is for you to be able to find anything you want. I encourage you. So we've broken out for you guys different chapters to read for specific weeks, for specific techniques, but there's a lot more in this book that we don't use in this class. I encourage you to pull that up, comb through it, and check out all the cool stuff. All right, we'll come back to that book here in just a minute. Then there's the end user agreement that says by using the book, you agree to the user agreement. Next up is the shopping list. All right, you can find that here. Again, it's another PDF that you can pull up. It breaks down week by week the ingredients and equipment that you're going to need. So you don't need to go out and buy all this today. All right, but I encourage you to look through this and see what you're going to need over the coming 12 weeks. I also encourage you to check out each week's recipes before you go buy everything on the shopping list. All right, because on some of this, you're just going to need a little bit. You may already have it. You may not need a full 5 pounds of potatoes. You may be able to do it with 3 pounds of potatoes, right? That kind of stuff. Okay, I also encourage you to check out the live session or the recording before you go shopping. Because a lot of times we'll tell you, hey, this recipe calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon of this. You don't really need that if you don't already have it. Or we'll give you options for substitutions. So you may not need the specific thing on the shopping list. We may be able to provide you with a substitution that you've already got. All right. That way you don't end up with stuff you may or may not need. Next up is the grades. I'm saying a quick check to your grades. Next to that is the ask your questions here. Okay. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's a great place to ask your questions. If you have general questions that you think your classmates might benefit from hearing the answers to, this is where you put that stuff. If you want to show pictures of a restaurant you ate at or some cool food you just made to your classmates and share it, this is the place you put that. This is not the required discussion forum that is graded. All right, this is completely separate from that. You'll also notice in here, Chef Jackie and myself have provided you with some preloaded discussions that give you some very important information. So I encourage each of you to check out each of these discussions. First, we got books, sites, and shows that Chef Jackie and I like. If you're like, I need some more cooking materials, I need some more shows, I need some more books, whatever it is you're looking for, we've provided some of our favorites right here for you. So make sure you check those out, add them to your Netflix queue and whatnot. Next up, Instagram food follows. You are going to hear me over and over the next 12 weeks tell you how important it is that you are on Instagram following restaurants and chefs just to see what's out there. Look, I understand a lot of people think social media is going to be the downfall of our society, and you may be right. However, at the present time, it's so rich with content to see what's happening out there. It's so important for you as either a continuing or aspiring culinarian to see what is happening in the industry, right? It used to be that you had to wait till Bon Appetit magazine came out every month, and their trends were 6 weeks behind because they've been working on those articles forever, right? Now, I get on Instagram and see what's happening tonight. What are the hot ingredients? What are the hot techniques tonight? What are the new flavor combinations people are doing right now? And it's so important. Whether you even use those ingredients or use those techniques or use those flavor combinations, for you to know what's happening will help you become inspired to do whatever it is that you're doing. So please start yourself an Instagram account. You never have to post any pictures if you don't want to. You can set your account to private. You can never post a picture, but follow a bunch of chefs to see what's going on. We got you a great starter list right here. This is compiled by a lot of the chefs here at Escoffier. There's some pastry stuff, some restaurants, some chefs, some magazines, all kinds of cool stuff. Check that out. Next up is our classroom participation policy, which is missing. I'll make sure that gets back up there though. But that's basically treat the live sessions like you're in an actual classroom, okay? We'd love to see you guys in your chef coats when you get them, if it's possible. Now, if you're watching a live session from like your kid's soccer game and you don't want to sit there in your chef coat, that's totally fine, no big deal. But if you're at home and you got it and it's clean, pop it on, it looks nice, right? It also says things like, try your best to get a blank background behind you. You guys don't have to go out and buy black backdrops or anything like that, but don't sit in front of your TV or don't sit in front, of your kids playing in the background. If a lot of stuff's going on back here, that's distracting to your classmates, all right? We also don't want you drinking alcohol, adult beverages or smoking or sleeping or driving in your video. If you're gonna be doing those things during the live session, please turn your video off. Again, it can be distracting to your classmates. Next up, we have your career services. Again, where did that go? I'll get this back up there. It's a map that shows who your career services contact is based on where you live in the United States. All right, so you get that information. Next up is due dates and times. Right here. Here at Escoffier, our weeks go from Wednesday to Tuesday. All right, so Wednesday is day one of the week. That's when you can turn in assignments and access knowledge checks and all that kind of stuff, okay? The following Tuesday is when everything is due. That's the deadline, not the due time, okay? Everything can be done between Wednesday and Tuesday, and we encourage you to get it done early. Do not wait, do not wait, do not wait until Tuesday to start and turn in your assignments. That's when stuff goes wrong. That's when the internet gremlins come out and you end up being late, all right? If you're turning stuff in early, then there's no worry about being late. Knowledge checks. We have knowledge checks every single week. We want you to do your first attempt at least by every Saturday, all right? The knowledge checks can be taken over and over and over again. The highest grade you get sticks. They can be taken over and over again until the week closes. Next Tuesday, at the end of Tuesday, the week one knowledge check will close and you will not be able to retake it. Can't reopen it and all that kind of stuff, all right? So make sure, I would say if you haven't already done it, I saw so many people have already done it, that's awesome. If you haven't already done it, as soon as we're done here, click on that knowledge check and take a run at it, okay? Even if you haven't done the research material yet, take a run at it. See if you know what you know. That way, at least, you got an attempt logged in there, okay? Then our assignments are always due no later than Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'd love to see them turned in by Sunday. Chef Jackie will talk about how important that is. And then discussion forums, same thing. Those will be due no later than the following Tuesday as well. But we'll talk about those as those come up. Time zones. Let's see if this one works. There we go. Cool. Again, our main office is in Chicago, which means we operate on Central Standard Time. Lucky for me, I'm already in Central Standard Time. But if you live in Mountain Time or Pacific Time or Eastern Time or somewhere outside of that, it's going to be critical that you know what those time differences are. Remember, our assignments are due at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesdays. So if you live on the East Coast, that means it's due by 12:59, that should say a.m. Eastern Time. Mountain Time, back an hour. Pacific Time, back an hour from that as well. All right. Next up, Chef Jackie has provided you guys with a link to a video about submitting your assignments. I highly encourage you to watch those. She'll talk more about submitting assignments here in just a little bit to make sure you guys are on the right track. But check out that video as well for more resources. Back to the class page. We also have for you here how to submit an assignment. This is a step-by-step infographic on submitting your assignments. We recommend that you download the Google Drive app to your phone. It will make your life so much easier. One of the most important things about being a chef is working as efficiently as possible. Downloading the Google Drive app to your phone will help you to take your photos, put them in the folders, and upload them as efficiently as possible, okay? So make sure you go through this. It tells you how to do this using a practice folder, how to make the copies, how to make sure the settings are set correctly, all the way down to submitting the actual assignment, okay? And I put big blinky arrows there so it can draw your attention to it. So make sure you check that out, okay? Next up, student success coach information. You should have been contacted in some way, shape, or form by your student success coach at this point. Their email address is located on your profile page. If you haven't yet and you want to chat with those folks, give this 800 number a call and pick option 5. They get you in touch with the correct success coach for you. These folks are a great resource for you here at Escoffier. If you have life situations that come up and you need somebody to talk to or you need some resources for those situations, your success coach is the person to reach out to for those specific things, and they can help talk with you through some of that stuff and help you figure out a solution. We also have tutoring available for you guys. Is Sydney here tonight? I'm not sure if she was going to make it or not. But her contact info is here. Sydney Wilson is a former student who did an amazing job in this program. If you need help trying to figure out like how to work your time management, like I got work and a life and I'm trying to go to school, she's a great person to reach out to. She's done all these assignments as well, so she can give you tips and tricks as well if you need that help. And then we got the class page itself. I encourage you to get on this and just click on everything and see what happens when you click on all this stuff. This breaks down our full 12 weeks. Week 11 and 12 get a little wishy-washy because of the way our schedule lays out this particular block, but we'll cover that as it gets closer. Let's look at a week section. Week 1, first up, we got a welcome message. Each week I'll post one of these videos. It'll give you kind of the quick version of what's going on this week. It may give you some tips and tricks on your assignment, that sort of stuff. So make sure you're watching those videos. Then we've got our research materials. This is all your reading and technique videos for each week. I'm not going to be doing live demos in front of you in these live sessions. We've made really cool produced technique videos that show you guys how to do all the stuff that we're asking you to do on a week-to-week basis. All right? YouTube videos are great, but we have specifically covered the exact things you will be doing in the technique videos that we've provided you. So I highly encourage you to watch those week to week. There's also your reading. Some of these are PDFs. Some of these are chapters out of the Gislin book as well. These will be very, very, very helpful in your knowledge checks when you do those. Research material is critical. Knowledge checks. These are little quizzes that we give you guys. Again, don't stress about I know some people have like quiz stress. Look, you can take it over and over again. Best grade sticks. Also, totally open book. All right? Don't be a hero. Don't try to guess the answers. Look them up. In fact, I'd rather you look them up because that guarantees that you had to thumb through the reading. You're going to pick up some more information and you're going to get the exact right answer. Some of these knowledge check questions are looking for the best answer. Okay? So you may go, oh, that answer is correct. Well, the next answer is more correcter. So it's looking for the answers out of the book. So make sure that you are doing the book readings and doing your knowledge checks. Again, we want to see your first attempt at this knowledge check no later than every Saturday each week. So if you don't want an email from me on Sunday going, hey, why didn't you do the knowledge check yet? Go ahead and get knocked out. Then we've got our discussions. This is where our live session links will be. Later tonight, it generally takes about 2 hours after the end of the live session for the internet to give me the recording and then for me to upload the recording back up. All right, so usually later Wednesday nights, those will go up. Right underneath here is where you'll see the archive. Okay? After that is the experience, the actual assignment. We'll dive into this a little bit more later on, but you absolutely have to be clicking on this every week to see what we're asking you to do. All right, that's the assignment, and like I said, we'll go through that step by step here in just a little bit. Let's see. Again, I want to reiterate conditional enrollment. All right, by the end of week number 4 in this class, you must be passing. You must be above a 60%. Okay, don't stress out about that. If you're doing the knowledge checks, the discussion forums, and turning in your assignments, you will be passing. It is very hard to be below 60%. You almost have to try to get below 60% if you turn everything in. Okay? Just make sure everything gets turned in. All right? Excuse me. We also have an attendance policy here at Escoffier. If you go 14 days without posting attendance, you are withdrawn from the program. All right? There are some important ways to post attendance. Just logging onto the website does not give you attendance. All right? Attending a live session or watching the recording, those count exactly the same. Okay? Those count for attendance. Doing the knowledge check, that counts for attendance. Turning in an assignment, that counts for attendance. Doing a discussion forum in the weeks we have discussion forums, that counts for attendance. So here's the deal. If you're just doing the things you're supposed to be doing, your attendance will stay fine and you won't hear from me about it. Okay? If you're not turning in work, that's when your attendance starts to slip, then you're going to hear from me about it. All right? So please make sure you're just, if you're just doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to be totally fine. You'd be really surprised, for those of you who don't have experience in the food service industry, I think you'll find out when you get in there, you're going to be very surprised to know that just showing up and following directions gets you so far in the food service industry, because there are so many people out there who don't show up, or they show up late and they don't follow directions. All right? If you show up and follow directions, you will do excellent in the food service industry. If you show up and follow directions, you will do excellent in these classes in this program here at Escoffier.
Chef Luke, I'm going to add a caveat to that, a little one, because there's 3 steps. Show up on time, actually show up early, ask questions, actually follow directions, and ask questions when you don't understand those directions, or if you're not sure. Hey, this says this and you told me that, or this happened and then what do I do? Ask that question. If I said, hey, go bake chocolate chip cookies, Chef Luke, I'm stealing your sample. Hey, go bake chocolate chip cookies, and I don't tell you what recipe to use and what temperature to put the oven at, and you just pop it in at 425 to bake a batch of cookies and burn my cookies, I'm going to be a little upset. Part of it's my fault because I didn't tell you what temperature to bake them at, but a bigger part is where you just went with it and didn't say, hey, chef, what temperature do you want these cookies at? How long do I put them in for? And I'll tell you right now, because it comes up every week, how long do I put this in the oven for to bake my pomme dauphinoise or my roast chicken? Till it's done. We'll say it every week, because your oven is different than my oven, which is different than some Chef Luke's oven, which is different than David's oven. You put it in till it's done. But you at least have to ask, what temperature do I put it in at? Because that doesn't flex as much. Ovens are temperamental, but you got to at least get a close number.
Yep.
Ask those questions.
Ask questions. I used to tell my cooks, never guess, always ask. It never hurts to take 2 seconds to ask a question. Okay? That goes the same here. You can shoot me a text or an email, and I'll get back to you super fast. Chef Jackie is the same. Text and email is the quickest way to get a response from us. You can absolutely call the numbers that are on our class page, but if we're in meetings or we're doing grading or whatever is happening at the moment, we may not be able to answer that phone call right away. And it may be a minute before we can get back to you. But I can absolutely answer texts and emails while I'm in a meeting. Shh, don't tell them. Don't tell Chef Janet I told you that. All right, I want to show you guys one more thing real quick. Right up here at the top of your page, that little bitty envelope with that little bitty number, that means I've got messages. It's absolutely critical that you read the messages that we are sending you. The default on your contact is that those should also go to your email address. So if you're not checking your email address every day, which I don't know who is not checking their email address like all day, every day. I know I am. But you should be as well, because that is our main form of communication with you guys. We send out messages through the website, which go to your messages on the website. They should also go to your email, okay? That's our main form of communication with due times and deadlines and information you need about class. We might send out interesting articles or technique videos through that way as well, to give you guys more information. So please make sure you're checking those messages very, very frequently. That is our main form of communication to you guys. All right, so make sure you're checking those out. Let's talk about knife kits and uniforms. Not everybody has received their first knife kit and uniform just yet. That's okay. Don't panic. All right. You can do the week 1 assignment with any knife and any cutting board.
And any ruler. You do need a ruler. It could be $1. It could be a 25-cent ruler. I don't care. Kids
just started school. Steal one out of their backpack like I did today. That's all you got to do, okay? Don't freak out about not having the specific knife that we're gonna. It's not some magical knife that's the only knife you can use to do your assignment, okay? Use any knife, any cutting board, any ruler to get week 1 done. As far as your uniform is concerned, if your uniform has not arrived yet, don't panic. You can wear any shirt with sleeves, short sleeves or long sleeves. Try to find one with no logos on it, right? You can wear any apron if you have an apron. You can wear a hat. Again, try to wear a hat that doesn't have a logo on it, or like a bandana or whatever. Your hair just has to be covered up, right? And that'll work until your kit arrives, okay? As far as sanitizers go, well, let's get to sanitizers in a second. I also want to talk real quick about nails, okay? Your nails should be no longer than the tip of your finger. They should be unpainted and they should be clean. All right, that is absolutely the industry requirement, and that is what we expect as well. All right, I think Chef Janet talked a little bit about nails and orientation. If you ask me or Chef Jackie, we're going to tell you they got to be short and clean. That's our answer.
And I'm going to throw in there too, don't say, can I wear gloves instead? My answer 99.9% of the time is no.
Gloves affect the way the food feels, the way you can hold the knife, the way you can hold the food, all that kind of stuff. So we generally recommend that you're not wearing gloves when you're doing these projects. It gives you a better grip on everything. It's actually safer. Also, when people wear gloves, it gives them a false sense of security that they don't have to wash their hands. I was wearing gloves, it's fine. No way. You always got to be washing your hands whether you're wearing gloves or not. All right? Hair needs to be tied back and up in a hat or a covering of some sort all the time. As far as beards go, if it's shorter than an inch, you're okay. If it's longer than an inch, you're supposed to be wearing a beard net. All right, you can find those on Amazon or at your local restaurant supply store. All right. Cool. Let's make sure. I think that's all of our housekeeping. All right, cool. Let's get into week 1.
Chef Luke, can I housekeep a little bit?
Sure.
Because it carries on into self-ID. I want to show, and everybody, if you went through the orientation, you'll have seen this, but I want to show it again because it zoomed out. This is what I expect the photo to look like for self-ID. If I can share my screen correctly. And this is what I need to see. You, in your hat, and now this is, if you have your kit and it came in, this is what you're expected to look like. If you're in temporary, I still want the same full body photo. If you are by yourself and nobody can take it for you, you don't have a full length mirror, top half, bottom half, you have to submit 2 photos every week for your uniform. But head needs to be covered in your school issued skull cap. starting essentially week 2 at the latest. Your chef coat buttoned all the way to the top. You'll see Chef Luke and I, we button all the way up.
This,
all the way to the top.
No. I know this is how Gordon Ramsay wears his.
I know a lot of people who wear both of them open and pinned back all the way up.
When you have 30 Michelin stars, you can open the top of your chef coat. All right, that'll be our deal.
Apron. I will admit, I am an apron around the waist, but we ask that you wear it all the way to the top. It does protect your chef coat. Think of it this way. You want to keep a clean chef coat because if you need to walk out into a dining room to talk to a guest, you need a clean chef coat, and you won't have that if you wear your apron around your waist. Long pants, plain and clean preferably. Jeans are fine. Jeans are completely acceptable, but they need to go all the way to the top of your shoe, which it says non-slips here. Really, I want closed-toed, preferably not cloth, some sort of leather, rubber, something. Walmart has Skechers non-slip oil-resistant work shoes for like $20, I think. I get high-top steel-toed work boots that I wear in a kitchen from Walmart for $35. So you don't need anything over the top. But this is what I'm looking for. Whether it's a selfie in a mirror, use your full-length mirror, whether it's a selfie out and then top half, bottom half, or you say to your kids, your spouse, your best friend, your roommate, hey, real quick, take this picture for me. And then you need to stay in the full uniform the whole time you're cooking. This isn't take a picture, take it off. This is take a picture, leave it on. Or this isn't cook and then take my picture. It stays on the whole time. And then I'll save my other short presentation for when we go through the assignment a little bit more, because I want to talk specifically about mise en place photos and the narrative and then feedback, but we'll get there.
We will, indeed. One thing you're going to be doing that's very important in your research material this week, and it's going to be part of your, part of your knowledge check as well, and then we'll have an actual specific knowledge check on it in a couple of weeks, is sanitation. All right, sanitation is absolutely critical in a food service operation. Now this week you guys are just dealing with raw potatoes, so it's going to be real hard for somebody to get super sick with sanitation issues in week number 1 because raw potatoes don't inherently carry a lot of bacteria. But next week we ramp it up. We're dealing with raw chicken, so we want you to be dealing with best practices every single week. So this week you are required to have some sort of sanitation setup. All right, in your knife kit you received a little bitty tube of chlorine test strips. All right, if you haven't received your knife kit, we'll talk about what to do. But if you do have your knife kit, you're going to make a sanitizer solution of bleach and water. All right, it's going to be somewhere between 1 and 2 teaspoons of bleach and a gallon of water. All right, the reason we say somewhere between 1 and 2 teaspoons is because where you live is going to have a different amount of chlorine than water than where I live. So that is going to vary a little bit. That's what your test strip is measuring, is the chlorine. All right. So you may need a little more chlorine, a little less chlorine. When you dip that test strip into that water, that sanitizer solution, it should come out the dark gray color. On the test strip tube, on the back of it, there's a little scale. It says like 0 to 50 to 100 to 200, something like that. And it goes from white to dark gray. You should be in a darkish gray color that's between 50 and 100 parts per million. All right. When you're looking at your test strip, that'll make sense when you see it on there. So what we want you to do is show us that your test strip matches between 50 and 100 parts per million. Okay. Any more than that, and you're over sanitized. It is possible to over sanitize. All right. And that can be a problem. But we especially don't want to be under sanitized because then you're not killing off all the bacteria. If you have like a bleach allergy or something, please send me an email and I will send you an alternative. For those of you who have not received your test kits yet, you can use like Clorox style disinfectant wipes until your test kit arrives, until your knife kit arrives. Okay? So that would be your alternative for now. When we're using that sanitizer solution, we want to be using a clean towel, all right, each week, a new clean towel to wipe down stuff. You know, grabbing that dirty hand towel you've been using for a couple days from the sink and dipping that in the sink, that's not going to work. You're just rubbing bacteria all over everything. You want a clean towel for that. As far as the sanitizer bucket's concerned, you do not have to go out and buy a red sanitizer bucket. You can use any container that will hold your sanitizer solution. It's just important that you label that sanitizer bucket because you don't want to put next week's spaghetti leftovers in the container that you were putting bleach water in. All right. Once it becomes a sanitizer solution container, it is always a sanitizer solution container. All right. Yes.
I'm going to interrupt because the chat, while I was talking about uniforms, was blown up with uniform questions. So I want to clarify again. Please don't wear gloves. If you have a specific reason why you think you need to wear gloves, reach out to Chef Luke and I, message us, and we will work it through. Like Chef Janet said, for certain employment that you have to have nails that isn't in the restaurant industry, we will address that on a case-by-case basis. Pants, any long pant that goes to your ankle. You're going to have your apron on. You're going to have your chef coat on. I would not go out and buy brand new black pants for this. You're just going to ruin them. Don't wear sweatpants necessarily either, but some long pants of any that you work. I know I'm in Phoenix. It's hot. Still got to wear pants. And then those gloves. I get it. You don't like touching meat. I'm going back to gloves. You don't like touching meat. You don't like touching food without gloves on. You're going to. And if you work in the industry and you say, I prep all the time and we have to wear gloves, yes, that's different though. Right now, we want you to get comfortable and confident touching everything without the gloves on. Raw chicken, beef, fish, I don't care, no gloves. If you have a cut on your hand and you need the Band-Aid, yes, that's a different reason to wear a glove. That's again, case-by-case basis, please.
An exception rather than
yes, the rule is no gloves. There is always the occasional exception to the rule, but the exception to the rule is not because I won't touch food without gloves on. In this industry, you are always, even getting ready to collect ingredients to prep, you won't have gloves on most of the time. You wash everything. You put gloves on, you wash it. That's how it preps. I will tell you right now, I used to make 50 pounds of ground hamburger seasoned, and I'd be up to my elbows in ground hamburger meat. You don't wear gloves that go up to your elbows. You just dive in bare hand, and then you wash your hands really well. When you cook and plate, then, depending on where you work at, you put gloves on. So it is, yes, jeans are fine. No, black pants don't matter. Just closed-toed shoes, pants to the ankle.
Black pants, jeans. They've got to be pants that are full length down to the ankle. Again, cutting potatoes week 1, not a huge deal. Week 8, when we're deep frying, you don't want to be wearing shorts when you're deep frying. Splattering oil will burn you, and it does not feel good. Another reason we ask you guys to wear closed-toed shoes and pants that go, all the way to your ankles, and aprons, and your chef coat's buttoned up, is because we want you operating like you are in a professional kitchen. All right? When you put on the uniform, you put on the apron, you put on the skull cap, and you're wearing the proper pants and the proper shoes, you are acting as if you're in a professional kitchen. You're going to take everything a little bit more seriously when you're dressed that way, okay? You're in school. I know you're doing it in your home kitchen. You're doing it at home, but you're also in school. So we want you acting like you're in school, like you're working in a professional kitchen, all right? That way you take it a little more seriously. You pay a little more attention to what you're doing. It's critical that you're always operating under best practices. You want to do the best you can to imitate a professional setting so that when you are in an actual professional setting, it's familiar to you. All right? It's not just because we made up all these rules because we don't want you guys to be comfortable at home and all that kind of stuff. We didn't make it up just for that, right? There's a reason why we ask you to do everything we ask you to do. All right? And that is it. We want you emulating a professional setting. Again, no jewelry, wedding ring, that's it. Earrings, studs, that's it. All right? Again, not because we don't want you to look nice, It's because that's going to be what's required by the health department when you're working in a professional kitchen. We want you operating as if you're in a professional kitchen. All right? Let's talk about how to hold a knife. It's a little bit different than you usually hold a knife at home. What we do here and what you will do in professional kitchens is what's called a pinch grip. All right? So basically, I'm going to take my pointer finger and my thumb, and I'm going to pinch the fat part of the knife just past the handle. All right? Then I'm going to wrap my other 3 fingers around it. That's how I hold a knife. If this is not how you already hold a knife, it's going to be uncomfortable. And you're going to be like, that feels weird. But I promise you, at the end of 12 weeks after holding a knife like this, it's going to be so much more comfortable. And you're going to have so much more control over the knife. When I hold a knife like this, it's not going anywhere, right? That sucker's in there. When I hold a knife like this, which a lot of people do, admit it, right? My finger can slip off. There's a chance to lose a fingertip there. When I hold a knife like this, which a lot of people do, it can twist in my hand. I don't have control. When I pinch the knife like this and I wrap my fingers around it, I've got complete control over this. It's an extension of my arm. And in actuality, I know it's not going to seem this way for the first few weeks, but in actuality, this will greatly reduce fatigue when you're operating a knife for an 8-hour prep session.
Chef Luke, somebody asked in chat, can you turn to show where the thumb is at? Thank you.
There's my thumb, forefinger. I'm pinching the knife like this, okay? It's a lot safer, and it will be a lot more comfortable. Now, you're going to send us a message, and you're going to go, Chef, I'm getting a blister right here on my finger. Yeah, you will get a blister. But after a while, once those blisters heal, they turn into calluses. Okay? And it's kind of like
the work of a chef.
For chefs, right? Chef's secret handshake. You can feel that callus when you shake somebody's hand. Like, yeah, you use a knife a lot, don't you? Right? Trust me. The other thing that's important when you're doing your cuts is that you make a claw grip. All right? Do not hold food like this, right? That lets my fingertips are exposed. I'm much more likely to cut them. We turn our fingertips in like this and make a claw grip. We use that to hold the food and to press it down onto the cutting board. All right? And that keeps it stable so that we can cut it. What that also does, by making that claw grip, I've basically given myself a guide for my knife. My knife can go along that knuckle, right? And help me make nice straight cuts. My fingers are like this. I got a chance of cutting my fingertips off. And that's no good because then all that food has to be thrown away and I got to go get Band-Aids and I can't do anything for a while until it's all stops bleeding. A quick note on cutting boards, wood or plastic. Those are the 2 kinds of cutting boards you should have. Okay? Glass breaks. Okay? And then you got a mess. Also, it's horrible for your knife. Granite, also not great for your knife. Wood and plastic cutting boards are the best options. They're the kindest materials to your knives. All right? And that's our recommendation. When
Chef,
yeah.
I'm interrupting. Bamboo cutting board thoughts.
Fine.
It's type of wood. Go with it. If that's what you have, use it. Just don't use the glass.
Don't use the glass. Glass cutting boards are not great for your knives. Okay? When you put your cutting board down on your countertop, we want to see it secured. All right? Some cutting boards have the little rubber grippies and feet and stuff, and that's great. Then that's not going to slide anywhere. That's excellent. If you don't have those rubber grippies on your cutting board, you need to secure your cutting board to your countertop somehow. A couple ways to do that. One is to buy that grippy shelf paper. You can get a whole roll. You can get like a 100-yard roll at the dollar store for $1, right? It's usually inside your shelves to keep your glasses from sliding around. Cut you off a little piece of that, put that under your cutting board. It's not going nowhere. Love it. Another option is to get a paper towel or 2, get that damp, squeeze the water out, slap that down on the countertop, slap your cutting board on top of that, not going nowhere. That's usually the one you see most often in professional kitchens. you know, because they don't have shelf paper just laying around, but paper towels are everywhere. A third option, my least favorite, but it will work, is to use like a hand towel or a dish towel. Again, get a little bit damp, put that down, then put your cutting board on top. I don't love that one because usually the dish towel hangs out the edges. And when we start doing things like raw chicken, you get that chicken juice on your towels, and now your towels have bacteria, and you get to wash them and all that kind of stuff. Paper towels just get thrown away, right? Which is nice. And if you do the shelf paper, cut it smaller than the size of your cutting board. All right. On the shopping list, I think it recommends an 18-inch by 24-inch cutting board. If yours is like an inch or two smaller than that, don't go out and buy a brand new one just because it says 18 by 24. Get it close, right? But if you're working with one of these little guys, get yourself a bigger one because you're going to need more space, especially as we move along and ramp it up on a week-to-week basis. This week, you are going to be measuring out your knife cuts. We're going to look at that here in just a second, and I'm going to try to do this quickly so Chef Jackie has time to go over the assignment. This week, we will be going past the 8:15. Generally speaking, though, moving forward, we won't have so much housekeeping stuff to talk about, so we'll finish on the 8:15. If you need to take off right at 8:15, you can, and then you can come back and watch the recording of the end of the stuff you missed. All right? But I want to show you real quick how to measure your cuts. This is something that a lot of people struggle with, especially here in week 1. We want you doing very, very precise cuts. In fact, we've given you measurements on what the sizes are going to be. We'll look at those in a sec. But the way you actually do that is to take a ruler. It can be any ruler, wood ruler, plastic ruler, whatever, metal, that's fine. Any ruler, totally fine. You're going to actually physically put that on your cutting board, put the food up next to the ruler, line the knife up with the measurement you want to cut, and make your cut. It's not like some kind of crazy super secret thing. It's literally like you're drawing a line, right, at a certain mark. Okay, it's exactly that. It's also important to remember when you're looking at a ruler. I don't know if I can get this to focus because it's too bright. But when you're looking at a ruler, we're not lining up against the end of the ruler. We're lining up against the first tick mark on the ruler. All right, so like when you're cutting something 1/8 of an inch wide, if you're lined up to the end of the ruler, then you go 1/8 of an inch, you're actually doing like 1/4 of an inch because there's a little space between the end of the ruler and the first tick mark. All right, so make sure you pay attention to that as you go. Again, I know it's a lot of information, you guys. Tons of info. Go back and watch the recording if you're like, what did he say about this? Or you can send us messages as well about that sort of thing. Chef Jackie, do you want to take it away and talk about submitting assignments in week 1?
Yes, let me answer this question. Somebody wanted to know where they could get a bag or something of that sort for their knife. Commercial kitchen store, Amazon, sometimes even Bed Bath & Beyond.
jbprints.com.
There you go.
Cool. I'll put that on here for you guys.
Okay.
jbprints.com. It's like a candy store for cooks.
I get in trouble. I'm not allowed to go to commercial kitchen stores anymore because I try to leave with things I don't need, or I don't have, not even I don't need, that I don't have room for.
Sure.
All right. So come back and let me share my screen. And now this, again, is going to look familiar. Chef Luke just shared the same screen. That's your course page. In week 1, you've gone through all of this. You come to experience assignments. You click. And this tells you exactly what I'm looking for. This self-identification photo takes you to the dress code photo that I shared. So if you're not sure what I'm looking for, click there. It tells you exactly what I need. So this week, I'm looking for 14, at most 15 photos. If you have to do a self-ID photo that's top half and bottom half, that's 2 pictures. Everything else, I only want 1 photo of each of these. Sanitizer bucket and test strip. Countertop with your secured cutting board. Any cutting board that is not glass, secured in any manner that you can sanitize. So if it's a wet paper towel and you throw it out, fine. If it is silicone, if it's a shelf liner, whatever it is, as long as you can clean it. Properly cleaned and organized tools and knives. That's mise en place. That's what I want to look at in a moment, but I want to go through all these photos because I'm going to just touch on it, and then I will touch on it again either next week or the week after when we really start cooking. Your washed and scrubbed potato, peeled with the eyes removed. Preferably, Chef Luke, correct me if I'm wrong, they get a peeler in their first knife kit, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
So use your peeler. There's a cool little thing on that peeler. It's a little rounded edge. That's there to take the eyes out. Holding your knife, demonstrating the proper grip and the product. So that pinch grip and that claw grip. And I guarantee you at least probably 80% of you are not used to the pinch grip and the claw grip. So you'll send me pictures making your cuts and your finger will be sticking out and your fingers will be, and I'm just going to tell you to fix it. It's going to take probably the first 6 weeks to get into the habit of using the knife correctly, and that's okay. That's what we're looking at.
I have a question.
Hold up 1 second on question. Once we finish going through this, Chef Luke and I will open it up I know there's a lot of people that have questions. You're going to cut your potato into a rectangular block. I'm not looking for if you can get a perfect block, it's going to make your cuts easier. But it's not required that it's perfect yet. We're looking for progress, not perfection. Your 1 cup of bâtonnet, it tells you, use the ruler. Show me several pieces at the proper size. I'm not looking for one little perfect square. I'm looking for 1 cup of fairly close, properly cut potatoes. 1 cup of small dice. And if you have a measuring cup, which if you don't yet, you're going to need, you can get them at Walmart or the dollar store. You're going to measure these and take your pictures. Your julienne and your brunoise cut, 1/2 cup of each of those. Below this, there is this narrative reflection sheet. You click it, you make a copy. And every week, this narrative reflection sheet is due. You make a copy, you fill it out completely. Every question, even if you have to say not applicable, NA, you still need to fill it completely out. And you can look through this. And as we get going, it does get not more complicated, but a little bit more detailed for production in terms of cooking. But again, every week. This Notes for Evaluator here is my favorite section. This is where you tell me what you really want me to look at, what you experienced. Chef, my knife cuts didn't work. I couldn't get my hand to hold the knife the right way no matter how much I tried. What can I do? Or Chef, I think my rice pilaf is overcooked. Can you take a look and see what I did wrong? And that's what I will focus in on. I will look at everything, but I really focus in on what question you have about your assignment. And then if you're not sure, we have the videos I made. Chef Luke has the how to submit assignment at the top, or you can click these show me how links to submit. I'm still going to show you how. So I've submitted this just to test it because there was a glitch earlier in the system, and so I needed to take a look at it. Check out your narrative here, or not your narrative, I'm sorry, the rubric. This tells you exactly what I'm grading and how you earn your points. So narrative, you didn't do it. You did part of it, you did it really well. I can tell what you've done. And we go all the way through. Sanitizer, mise en place. Let me pull up that mise en place photo that I want to show, maybe, since I had too many windows open. Okay, so I'm just going to put this out here. We'll look at it again. This is mise en place. Cut, portioned, measured, chopped. This is a mise en place photo. This is what I'm looking for. And if you want to get really detailed in terms of mise en place, put it in the order on your counter in the order you're going to use it. This is a grocery photo. This is not what I'm looking for. I don't need this photo. This doesn't tell me what you're doing with your product. This does. I can come back if your rice pilaf didn't come out, or your beans didn't come out, I can come back to this photo and go, okay, for this amount of, in this case it's lentils, this amount of water is the right amount. If your rice pilaf comes out mushy, I can come back to this photo and go, okay, for that amount of rice, you have twice as much water as you need. That's why I need these really, really good mise en place photos. So go through all of this, read through it, and now I submitted already, but if I were going to change it or submit it, it says edit submission here. I'm still going to scroll down. I'm going to copy and paste my Google Drive link. We can sample it here. Share. I'm untitled mise en place. I'm saving it because it needs a new name. I'm going to get a shareable link. I'm going to go to advanced just to be sure, and I'm going to change this. Anyone with link can view. That means no matter what, it's accessible. Save it. I'm going to copy just in case, and then going back to my screen, I paste it. Save changes, or save. If you haven't put it in yet, just save it. And then it's here. It notifies me. Once you click save and send it over, it notifies me that I need to review your work and give you personalized feedback. You will see, and it doesn't show me on this one because I can't grade my own work, but you will see, I'm going to stop sharing. When I grade your work, you'll get an email that says your assignment has been graded. That tells you go into your assignment, go in and check your rubric, go to the grade book and check, and the first thing you'll see under the feedback section is a direct link to your video of your personalized feedback. The email you get just notifies you that it's been graded. It doesn't tell you what your score is. It doesn't give you your feedback. You have to go into the class page, look at the assignment, and check it out. It is very, very imperative. It's not important, it's imperative. It is critical that you check out this feedback. I tell you where you had success. I tell you where you can improve. It's the same place I tell you if you had an unintentional link submission issue. And that happens. Not at all a problem. And you have the opportunity to fix it. So you have to do it, and then you have to submit it, and then you have to watch your feedback. Chef Luke, am I missing anything?
I think that's all great information. I want to go over real quick how to actually do the cuts you're going to be doing this week. All right. So whether you're doing a bâtonnet or a julienne or a fine julienne, those are all essentially the same shape, right? It's a stick shape. It's a French fry. It's a steak fry. It's a shoestring potato, depending on, which one of those you're doing. Okay. But the basic mechanics are the same for each one of those cuts. You're going to peel your potato, right? You're going to cut it into a rectangle, right? How do I cut a potato into a rectangle? Well, you got this potato, right? We peeled it. Take one long side off, right? Then flip it down on that long side. Now it's sitting flat on your cutting board, right? Now take another long side off, making a right angle, all right? Then turn it. Now take another long side off. Now you got this shape, right? And it's round on top. Then you turn it one more time. Then you take that last long side off. Now it's a square shape, right? If you're looking at it from the end, but now it's still round on the ends, all right? Where it starts to get round on the ends, lop it off. Now you got a block. The size of that block does not matter. Does not matter, okay? It can be 2 inches by 2 inches by 6 inches. It can be 4 inches by 4 inches by 5 inches. Doesn't matter. Size of the block does not matter. What matters is what we do with that block, okay? So now that we've got ourselves a block, we're going to take it, we're going to line it up long ways against our ruler, okay? And then depending on which cut you're making will dictate how far into that ruler you measure. So let's talk about the bâtonnet, right? It's a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch by 2.5 inches. So I've got my block potato up against the ruler. I'm going to line my knife up. Remember, starting at the first tick, that's where I got my my block, right, is at the first tick, not at the end of the ruler. All right, the first tick. Then I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to line it up with the 1/4 inch mark on that ruler, okay, on the potato. Don't cut the ruler. And I'm going to cut, right, making this motion. Nice rocking slice. You might pull through a little bit as you rock to cut that slice. All right. Now what I've done is I've taken that rectangle and I've cut a slice. So now I have a piece that's a 1/4 inch thick and it's the shape of a plank. Right? Does that make sense? It's a rectangle, but now it's only a 1/4 inch thick. I'm going to take that whole block and I'm going to cut it into a bunch of 1/4 inch planks. All right. Now take one of those planks, line it up against the ruler. Right? The short edge is up against the ruler. It's a long rectangle, 1/4 inch thick, it's flat. I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to line it up at the 1/4 inch mark, and I'm going to make another slice. Now, I've taken that plank and cut it into 1/4 inch stick. All right, it's 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch now. Continue doing that until you cut that whole plank into 1/4 inch sticks, and then continue doing that with all the planks until they're all 1/4 inch sticks. Okay? Then you can take a couple of those sticks, right? We got some of these sticks. We're going to turn them sideways against the ruler. We're going to go to the 2.5 inch mark and make a cut. Now I've taken that long 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch stick and cut it into a 2.5 inch long stick. That's 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch by 2.5 inches. Looks just like a French fry. You do that until you've got a cup full of bâtonnets. Take a measuring cup, stack all those suckers in there long ways like you're filling a McDonald's paper thing full of fries, but it's a measuring cup. So you can show us that you have a whole cup of them. In your photo, you're going to have that measuring cup right here. You have your ruler up here, and you're going to have one of those bâtonnets sitting next to the ruler to show us your measurements. Get that all on your cutting board, and then take a picture from above. Whoop. And that's photo. I'm going to share that with you real quick. That's photo number 10. 1 cup of bâtonnet close up with the ruler, demonstrate proper size. Okay? Once you get that photo, make sure you got that photo, then you'll notice the next cut we're looking for is the small dice, 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. Well, you've already got all these 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch sticks. Why not turn them into 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch cubes? Right? Don't cut a whole nother set of potatoes into small dice. Use the sticks you already got and cut those into cubes. Put that 2.5 inch long ways against the ruler, line your knife up, cut it a 1/4 inch, 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 until you have a cup full of small dice. Right? Same thing happens when you do the julienne, except it's smaller. And yes, 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch is very, very thin. And those white potatoes on your white cutting board are going to vanish, especially if you Mr. Magoo it like me, right? But that's the work. That's what we're here to do. Are you going to bust out a ruler in a professional kitchen? Probably not, unless you go work at a super high-end place, okay? But the reason we have you do this now and be very precise and very exact with the measurements is so that you can focus on the technique. The technique is what's important, okay? The fact that you're cutting potatoes into tiny, tiny cubes, that actual thing is not important. The technique is what's important. What we're trying to get you to hammer home, this is going to take you a while. It's important when you go to the store to buy potatoes, look like a crazy person, go to the bulk bin, and buy the biggest potatoes you can get, okay? Because that will make sure that you use the fewest potatoes possible. If you go buy that bag, that 5-pound bag, those are usually little bitty potatoes. It's going to take you a while to get all these done with little bitty potatoes. Buy the big potatoes, all right? When you're really focusing, right, and you're making sure that you got that grip, because you better have that grip when you're cutting them this small, right? Because we want you to keep your fingertips. And when you really got that good knife grip, right, you got to take a picture of it, so you might as well do it this way, right? When you're really focusing on what you're doing, later on, when you go to do this a lot more and a lot faster, it'll be a lot easier. Okay? That's why we have you do this. The reason we have you measure it out to show us these specific cuts is to show us that you put in the time and the practice. It's critical that your food is uniform. Okay? One, it looks pretty, but more importantly, it cooks evenly when it's uniform. All right, that's why we have these specific measurements.
And the question came up in the chat. Am I checking for consistency? Yes, I am absolutely checking for consistency. I am looking to see that 1 cup of Brunoise or Bâtonnet and your 1 cup of small dice are all the Brunoise are all the same size. The Bâtonnet are all the same size. I don't need one perfect one on the ruler and 1 cup of not so great ones. I want as good as you can get in the 1 cup and several on the ruler to show that they're consistent. You got to think, when you go to cook these, maybe not this week, although I highly recommend making some home fries or something. They cook more evenly when they're all the same size. So if we have big pieces and little pieces, your little pieces are going to be mushy, and then your big ones are going to be raw. So you want them all the same size.
Darren, these should be measuring cups. 1 cup, 8 ounces, half cup, 4 ounces, by volume is what we're looking for. Okay. A couple other quick notes. One, when you're peeling the potatoes, put them in a bowl or a container of water, because potatoes, when exposed to air, will oxidize and turn black. And they get bitter when they oxidize. So you don't want that to happen. So keep them in a bowl of water until you're ready to use them. When you pull it out of that bowl of water, pat it dry with a paper towel so it's easier for you to handle. Okay? When you cut those long slices off of that potato to get it into a rectangle, put those in a bowl of water, save that scrap. Your photo number 14 is showing us the scrap. Okay? Do not throw that away. All right? That's money. That's money. Okay? You spent money on that. Don't throw it away. Eat it. Turn it into soup. Turn it into mashed potatoes. Whatever you want. Totally up to you. Okay? What you do with these potatoes once you've cut them and taken your photos, totally up to you. Have fun with it. Eat something delicious. You paid for it. All right? That's what we're looking for. What else, Chef Jackie? Get the Google Drive app. 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 Do not take pictures with a camera and then plug that into your computer and upload pictures to your computer and put those on your desktop and then put pictures from your desktop to Google and then from Google to drag into the right folder. That is way too much work. You're making it way too hard on yourself. You're already trying to learn so much. Make it as efficient as possible. Get the Google Drive app. Use the infographic on the class page and Chef Jackie's how to download an assignment, how to upload an assignment video to be as efficient as possible with your photo.
Don't try to, the less steps you can do, the better, because there's less chance for issues or unintentional errors. One thing that we didn't mention, if you're trying to do this all on your cell phone, you're going to struggle, especially when it comes to actually submitting the assignments. It does not. It's doable, but it's more complex. If you're going to do it with only your phone, no internet, no Chromebook, no laptop, no desktop of some sort, it's imperative that you submit your assignments connected to Wi-Fi and wait a few minutes on the assignment page to be sure it's submitted and everything is uploaded. There is I don't want to call it a glitch. It's almost like a gremlin that hangs out and doesn't submit assignments if you're not connected to Wi-Fi. It says it submits and it submits on your end, but it does not notify me that your work has been submitted until you log into the app on Wi-Fi. So if you're going to do the phone, be sure you're connected to Wi-Fi when you submit. And then again, give it a few minutes. We mentioned the gremlins that come out on Tuesday night. They almost always show up about 10 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday night and hang around until about 1 a.m. Central Time on Wednesday. So you want to be ahead of that curve. Submit your assignments Sunday or Monday. If you want a quick turnaround on your feedback, Sunday or Monday. Sunday at the latest. You want a really early feedback submit? return, submit. Well, today's Wednesday. We're in live submission or live session. Submit Thursday, Friday. You'll get a quick turnaround. But you will not, once Monday hits, I guarantee nothing in terms of return time. All of your assignments will be graded no later than 10 a.m. Central Time, Friday of the following week. So if you submit on Tuesday, there's a good chance you will not get feedback until Friday. So you want your feedback early? Submit early.
Absolutely. Don't take 2 steps when 1 step will do. Right? That's important. That's a lesson we're going to try to hammer home with you guys throughout the course of this program. Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Because in the food service industry, efficiency translates to money. All right? And that's not to say that we're all going to get rich working in the food service industry. That's to say that your number one concern should always be profitability, because if you're not profitable, you're closed. Okay? We all want to give great service. We all want to give great food. We all want to give great experiences. But if you close because you're not making money, then nobody gets great food. Nobody gets great experience. Nobody gets great service. So profitability should be your number one concern. And what does that mean for you in this class? That means work as efficiently as possible. That means waste as little as possible, or reuse something that is left off, like we're talking about those potato scraps this week. All right. I know that's a lot of information, guys. If you have questions, please reach out. What did you say about that? Can you remind me what this deal was? But what's very important is that you do not wait to start your assignments. If you're waiting on a Chromebook or you're waiting on your knife kit, please go ahead and do the assignment with what you have, because it is imperative that you are turning in work on time. We do not expect the work to be perfect. All right? If you could do all this stuff perfectly, you wouldn't be here, right? You're going to learn how to do all this stuff. We don't expect perfection. We expect effort and progress. All right? Don't stress about everything being perfect on your assignment. If there's issues, if something's a little overcooked or your knife cuts are a little wonky, turn it in anyway. All right? If you look at that rubric, like Chef Jackie said, the bulk of your grade is just doing the work and turning it in. All right? That's the bulk of the grade, is just did you submit it? Did you complete it? That's what's important. Okay? If your cuts are a little off or your food's a little overcooked, we'll give you feedback on that. That's something we can coach you on. That's what we're here to do, is to make you better at that stuff. What we can't make you better at is turning it all in and turning it all in on time. I used to tell my cooks, if you show up and you're excited to be here, I'll teach you how to cook. Right? That's all we ask you guys to do. Show up and turn in the work. And we'll teach you how to do it to the best of our abilities. All right? It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of work. Trust me, this is going to ramp up from week to week to week. So make sure you are working on your time management this week. Make sure you are carving out specific time to do your assignments. All right? Make sure, you get the kids in bed and the dog's been out for a walk and all that kind of stuff, so you can focus on your assignment start to finish to be as efficient as possible. All right? If you have questions about the industry, about this class, about this program, about food in general, that kind of stuff, light technical issues, please reach out to me. Financial issues, that kind of stuff, please reach out to me. And I want to make sure we can help you navigate that to the best of our abilities. If you have once you start getting feedback and you have specific questions about your assignments and your grades on those assignments, please reach out to Chef Jackie. She can provide you with more clarification on those and further steps. If you have big technical issues with your devices or our site, please contact student support. Their phone number is at the bottom of every single page on our website. If you have a life issue, you need some resources, somebody to talk to about that kind of stuff, contact your student success coach. All right? We're here to help, but we can't help if you don't ask for help. So please ask for help as much as you need to. Our contact information is on the side of the class. All right? Thank you guys so much. Again, I know we're a little bit over this week. I promise we'll hit closer to that 1 hour mark moving forward. We won't have all the mumbo jumbo to talk about. We'll talk a lot more about food as we move forward as well, especially once we start cooking in week number 3. All right, so go out. Let's see those potato cuts. Let's see that knowledge check taken care of so your attendance is current, so your grade looks good, all that kind of stuff. And thank you very much for showing up. We had a little over 100 people here in the live session. That's fantastic. I want to see that many people every single week. If you can't make it, we record it. This recording will go up later on. Everybody wave to everybody watching the recording. Thanks for watching the recording. We appreciate it. I see we got a couple hands up, so let's grab those questions before we go. Ashley Ferguson.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Okay, so my concern is with what I was saying earlier about the assignment. It only let me do it on the online, I guess the online site, because it wouldn't let me do it from the app because it doesn't show up. It only shows the practice box for the assignment. So I guess that's what I did last night. I'm not sure if you can look that up and see if I put it in the right place this time.
I just checked because Ashley reached out to Chef Eric, who reached out to me, and then I reached back out. It's a big circle, but I looked. Your assignment is in week 1 now.
All right.
I would recommend, like I mentioned, I hate to say avoid the app, but if you have a computer, use your, like Chef Luke said, use your phone, download the Google Drive app. Take your photos directly to Google Drive, but then log into Google Drive on your computer, type in your narrative, put that in the folder, save yourself from maybe messing up a link by accident by submitting 2 links, and then submit that folder to the week. So you should have.
I don't know if y'all can see my chef outfit's dark.
In orientation, you guys should have had access and set up you had a zipped folder of Escoffier classes with folders in them. Use those folders. Put the pictures in
mine didn't zip.
Send all of that up.
If you've got
mine didn't unzip, so the guy had to show me a different way to do it through my phone.
Yeah, if you've got
so that was the only way I could do it.
The zipping and all that stuff, you need to reach out to student support because that is past my my technical pay grade.
Okay, and one more question.
Sure.
The one of the pictures I sent, I did send with the ones in the ruler. Is that a problem, or is that okay too? I'm pretty sure I sent way over more 15 pictures.
So that's important. You need to be trying your best to only submit the required photos because that makes Chef Jackie's grading more efficient for you. If she has to guess which photo you meant to use for one of the required photos, then there's potential for miscommunication issues there. Now, when you're submitting your pictures, if you submit like one picture with the cup and then one picture with the roof, that's not the end of the world because we can understand what that means. If you can get that in one photo, that's even better because then she says, okay, you got 14 pictures. I know what 14 pictures this is.
Okay, great.
I will admit, the more pictures you send me, the more chance you have of me finding something you did incorrectly. I'll just be straight up.
That's great, though. That's great. That's what I want you to do.
Well,
because I mean, I've been in the food industry for a while, and I want to know what I'm doing wrong.
What she means is the more chances you have of getting caught not wearing shoes or not wearing uniform, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Is what she means.
Right.
Submitting more photos won't get you more feedback. It will only create more confusion by submitting too many.
Okay, so did I do it correctly? I mean, as what you guys could see on there?
I know they're there. I know I can open the folders. I have not.
Okay.
That's as far as I went. I don't know what's in there. I don't know how you did. You'll probably get that feedback tomorrow since we have the live session tonight.
Great. All right.
All right. Val, you're next. What's up, Val?
Oh, okay, you can hear me. I just wanted to ask, as far as the knowledge checks, even if we pass it with 100, can we still continue to take it just to keep our knowledge fresh?
Yeah, you can go back and review it.
Okay. That's all.
You got it. Let's see. Kenny.
Yeah.
What's up, Kenny?
Come on. There you are. Okay. Do I need to send in a picture of like when I cut it down to the block? And then do I need each step or just the finished product?
You need to get the required photos from the assignment page. So let me show you again real quick how to get there. So here we are on the class page, right? Scroll down to experience, assignments, you'll click on this. And this will show you the required photos for that week. There are going to be different photos, and there's going to be more or less photos every single week. All
Okay.
right? So this week it's 14 required photos. So yeah, we want to see you holding the knife correctly. We want to see the peeled potato. We want to see the washed potato, then the peeled potato, then the potato block, then batten eggs, small dice, all the way down, all 14 photos.
Okay, thank you. And then you said student services because my tech is like failing me. I've got all the pictures in a folder. I just can't figure out how to send it to you.
Okay. So there's a couple of things you can do for that. Let me show you 2 resources that you can check out. Because if you can, and this is just kind of a good rule in general, if you can solve those kind of issues yourself, then that helps you learn how to do it, right? Rather than somebody showing you how to do it.
Right.
So 2 resources for you here. One is this how to submit an assignment right here at the top of the page. And that'll give you the step-by-step instructions with photos, okay? The other option is to go to this ask your questions here and go to Chef Jackie's quick videos on how to submit assignments.
Okay.
You click that, and then there's a video here on how to do that.
Okay. Yeah, see, I've done all that, but it's like I go to download the file and it says my tablet doesn't support that, and then it pops up anyway, so it's confusing to me. So
if you've used these resources and you're still feeling hung out to dry, scroll to the bottom of the class page, and you can see our technical support team information right here.
okay.
And that's the phone number you can call or text, 877-224-8576. And any page you're on the website, you should be able to scroll all the way to the bottom, and that information should be there for you to be able to
Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
And there are only so many tech people available when we're starting a new block, so they're definitely getting tons and tons of calls. So you may have to leave a message and they'll get back to you, but they'll get back to you as quickly as they can.
Chef Luke, you read my mind because I was going to say at the beginning of the block, it takes them a little bit of time.
Yeah, because all you guys are learning new stuff.
Remember, again, gremlins come out, issues come out. If you ask us,
Hi, I have a question. Okay, what's the
Hang on, Jesse. Hang on just a second. We'll get to you in just a sec.
One thing here, there's only there's only so many tech supports and a lot of people getting started with classes. And then don't wait till Tuesday when you are trying to submit. This is another reason we say reach out early. If you're trying to submit on Sunday or Saturday and can't figure it out, Chef Luke and I have a couple days to help you troubleshoot. Tech support has a couple days to help you troubleshoot. If it's 10 o'clock on Tuesday night, they're gone for the night already. They're not going to get back to you until Wednesday, and then your assignment is late. You reach out to Chef Luke or I at 10 o'clock on Tuesday night. We might get back to you.
I'm asleep.
I would say Chef Luke's got kids. He might be sleeping. I might be sleeping. So you want to keep that in mind. The earlier you can do this, the easier it's going to be for us to help you and for you to get the help you need.
Absolutely. All right, let's see. Martina, your hand was up next. Are you there, Martina?
Yes, I am.
There we go.
Good evening. My question was, I normally get off at like 8 p.m. which is 7 p.m. your time.
Huh?
And when I come in from work, I actually don't get here till like 8:30, 8:35. Do I have to put my uniforms in to finish class, or do I just wear a normal shirt? Because as you can see, I still have on my work clothes because I ran in and turned on the computer.
Oh, you
So
mean
I
for
can
the
just-
live session?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, don't stress about like scrambling to get your uniform on for the live session if you're running in from work and all that kind of stuff. Don't stress about that. You know, this is just kind of nice to see everybody in chef coats if they can. It's not required. We're not like taking roll to see who's got chef coats on and all that kind of stuff. So don't add extra stress to your life if you don't need to.
Okay.
Be presentable. That's the key.
Yeah.
Just be presentable.
Yeah, your work shirt there looks great.
Fine.
You're totally fine.
I have a question.
Hang on just a second, Samuel. Darren's had his hand up. Let's grab that real quick. And then we're going to get Jesse and Samuel right after that, okay? Darren.
I got a question. So, when you gotta do the assignment, are you guys gonna be like showing how to do it every week? Because I know some people are like a more like a written learner.
Yeah, so a couple things. One, we're going to talk about the assignment every single week like we did tonight. So I kind of went through the actual how you cut the potatoes and that kind of stuff. Chef Jackie goes through the assignment and stuff like that. But you also have this resource on the class page. Let me pull that up and show it to you real quick. Every week, you've got this research material. All right, when you click on that research material, we have videos here for you. This watch shows you how to set up your sanitation. This shows you how to do mise en place. This one here, knife basics, shows you basically how to hold the knife, how to do the grip, all that kind of stuff. And then there's the bâtonnet and small dice video here. When you go to do the julienne and the brunoise cut, it's exactly the same technique. It's just a smaller measurement. So you've got these videos that will show you the step-by-step how to do it if you really want to watch somebody do it to help you absorb that information a little easier. That's what that's there for.
Okay. And my next question is, how long does it take to get like our kit? Because if we don't have our kit before, that week, do we like continue doing what we need to do?
It depends on when you got all your enrollment stuff finished as to when that gets sent to you. Some people already have their kits. Some will be receiving them over the next few days. If you don't get your kit by like Saturday, just do the assignment with whatever knife and ruler you have. Don't worry about using the knife we send you. Again, it's not some sort of magical knife that's going to make you an immediate chef. Whatever knife you have at home, ideally something shaped like a chef knife like this. Like don't try to do it with like a butter knife or whatever. If you've got something generally shaped like this, that'll be totally fine. You don't have to. Even once we send you our knife, if you like your knife at home better, use your knife at home. That's fine. The knife is part of your, financial setup and stuff, so you're getting it. You can use it, give it to somebody else, whatever you want to do with it is up to you. All we care about is that you're executing the techniques each week.
And my one request, if you use your knife from home, that's fine. But please don't, if you don't like using a larger chef's knife. If you have an 8-inch chef's knife, that's one thing. Don't use a paring knife. Don't use a utility knife. You need to get, you're going to use a chef's knife for 80% of what you do in a commercial kitchen, up to and including breaking down chickens and deboning things. So don't trade out the chef's knife because you don't want to use it because it's that big. That you want to get over that, comfort. But if you have a Santoku you prefer, or if you have a 10-inch chef's knife, you have a smaller hand, that's fine. But don't switch out to a paring knife for something you're going to need a chef's knife for. That is something I will mention. If this week you only have a paring knife, I hope you have something even a little bit larger than that. If that's all you have, use it. Don't not do the assignment, but know that you're going to need to transition to a larger knife.
All right.
You got it. All right, let's see. Is Jesse still here? No,
I
Jesse
see
had a
Jesse.
question. See Jesse, it looks.
Hi. You probably can't see me. Can you hear me?
We can
Yes.
hear you. You're not driving, are you?
Okay. I'm left-handed, so how's that gonna work with this knife thing?
It's exactly the
matter?
same thing. I am also
Oh, it's the same
left-handed.
thing.
There is nothing different. You just put
Okay.
it in your left hand instead of your right hand.
Okay. That's all I wanted to make sure.
Same thing.
All right. Let's see. Where's Samuel? Is Samuel still here? There you are, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm still here.
Unmuted. What's your question?
Okay. Well, I think you guys can answer because they told me it take like about 14 days to get the first kit, and it's like a trial basis, and then like the third we get like a second kit. So I want to find out if I can order me a chef jacket until I get one from the school, and also a knife. I would have to buy some knives because I don't have any knives. I don't basically cook. So how do I handle that to do my assignments?
The chef coat, if you really, really want to go get one, you can. You do not have to.
Okay.
We're going to send you one. If you want to wait till that one shows up, that's fine. Until then, you can just wear any shirt. Just try to wear one with no logos
Well-
in the sleeves. If you want to go buy a chef coat or order a chef coat, that's totally up to you. You're not required to do that.
Okay.
As far as the knife is concerned, you can go to restaurant supply store. You can go to Walmart, Target, whatever. Doesn't matter. Get a knife that's shaped like this. It's about 8 inches long.
Okay.
And that'll do just fine until your kit arrives.
And another question with the book that's on the PDF, can we print that book out and make like a manual and have it that way versus being on a computer?
If you want to print it out, you can. It is.
If you want a printed copy,
Yeah,
of that
I
book,
prefer a hard copy.
then
It is
I would probably buy it.
1,081 pages. You're gonna be at the library for a while printing that out.
It's gonna, it may, if you're gonna pay to print it, or if you're gonna buy the ink and the paper to print it, you probably just want to look on Amazon or Google and buy either a new or used version of that book hardback. You're gonna spend a crazy amount of money on ink and paper and a 3 or 4 inch binder to hold it all together. You might as well just purchase the textbook through Amazon.
Okay.
And you can get it used sometimes, which will save you a couple bucks as well.
All right. I just want to be prepared and stuff because sometimes computers can go down in the middle of studying. And if I have like a hard copy, I can kind of read it and do it that way as well.
Mm-hmm. You can also download the PDF to your computer. That way, if like your internet crashed or something, you could have the PDF on your computer. But yeah, if you prefer an actual book, you can absolutely go purchase that.
Okay. All right. I think you guys answered all my questions. Thank you.
Cool deal. Cool deal. I'm going to say Tajine. Did I say it right?
No, it's Tejan.
Tejan. All right.
That helps me when I go to give feedback. So thanks for butchering it for me, Chef Luke.
You're welcome.
My question was, my chef coat is actually like extra huge. So is it okay if I like roll my sleeves up like 2 or 3 times to make sure everything? Okay.
Absolutely.
Never use full length ever for anything.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Definitely roll it up. You don't want to drag your like sleeves through like sauce and fire.
Yeah, that was my question.
I roll mine up all the way to my elbows. That's how I like it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Ashley. What's up, Ashley Ferguson?
Okay, so are y'all gonna send us thermometers?
In your second kit.
Thermometer shows up in your second kit.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
And that should be around week 5 when that shows up. Right? Let's see. Jessica Cole. Jessica, are you there? Jessica, I see you. Do you still have a question?
I see mouth moving. I don't hear anything coming out.
Yeah, you might have to check your microphone settings or something. Because I had you unmuted. If we can't get that, you could type your question as well, and we'll get that as well. Keep working on that. Let's see. Let's jump. I see Marvin holding his hand up. Let's grab that question real quick. What's up, Marvin?
Does on the sanitizing, does the water have?
Oh,
nope, you got muted there. All right, say that again.
The sanitizing, does the water have to be hot or cold?
It should be like 100 degrees, so just barely warm. You don't want it hot because you don't want to stick in your hand in a hot bucket of water.
Okay.
But a little bit warm is ideal.
Okay.
Tanya.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
All right. Okay, my thing is I'm still using my phone. I did figure out how to get on my laptop, I did figure out how to get where I got my email and everything straight, but it's not letting me download the Play Store app where I could download the actual app to go on my laptop.
You might need to reach out to tech support for that. That's a little beyond my
internet, my technology skills.
yeah. So at the bottom of the class page, you can get their phone number. That's 877-224-8576.
Okay, and another thing, I did I ordered my chef coat but it's not showing that I ordered my knives and stuff, which I did. So I don't know what I did wrong on that part.
So the chef coat's the only thing that we needed information from you for. We just needed the size. The knife kit
okay.
shipped out automatically.
Oh, okay.
Cool deal. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end the recording so people watching the recording don't have to watch it like a 2-hour-long video. It's almost 2 hours anyway. But we'll go ahead and finish a few more questions, and then we'll move on. So that's it for the recording. Thanks for watching.